Welcome back, everyone. Here is the cleaned up layout room. I was able to finish again. All the track is in place. I have the branch down to, or the cutoff down to Barberton Yard in place, and also did that transition from cork road bed down to plywood. And then I also have Jones Chemical facility in place. I kept the cork road bed on that because I didn't have enough room to do a transition for that. There's obviously an ABC Railway SW1500 sitting there with a couple cars. But then we have also Barberton Yard all cleaned up down to the switching area just past Barberton. I have all the just excess stuff on these shelves. And then the big update is going to be that I have a Shulman put in. So obviously you have tortoise switch machine here. The other three switches are just going to be hand throws, but we have 3 tracks for that. The way I'm envisioning it is that CSX will have track authority to be able to pull cars from this track here. And then these 2 tracks are going to be done by a switcher. What they have on the real one is a track mobile that is used to switch the plant. However, those are very hard to find. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is have ABC Railway or William Lake Erie be the switching operators for this industry, to say that since it's a short line or a class 3 railroad, that the charges will be less than a class 1 railroad doing those switching. So I have a lead here that'll be long enough to do any of the cut of the cars switching that's going to be needed. But the goal in the end is going to be to have a track mobile to do this switching, which will take a little bit of time. As you can see, 5 of the cars, they're not on the track yet. I want to clean the wheels prior to putting them on the track for the first time. But these are the newest run of the Atlas 5701 hoppers. I probably got 13, 14 of them that have been in boxes since they arrived. I don't know how many months ago, but they look really nice and I'll be able to use them on the layout here. Then on the back side here for the staging yards, I do have a couple trains staged. It's really nice to be able to actually run trains on the layout now. So I got 2 on that side. And then if we pop over to this side over here, just got 1 intermodal train change. Currently just have single locomotives on those. I need to get all my consists and figure out what locomotives I want to run together to do that. But 1 locomotive here at the beginning is enough. And then here's an overview of what the layout looks like currently. Over the past few weeks, I've got a bunch of new locomotives. So this is me just getting the correct numbers for the locomotives. In future or in time, I will use my speedometer here and speed match them to the rest of the locomotives I have. I'm happy to show a video of that if people are interested, and I use a spreadsheet for that. But right here, 865, this is my master locomotive, so everything is programmed based off of this one for running on the layout. I've also gone in and redone a little bit of track work here. If you remember, this is where one of the humps was that every once in a while a car would uncouple. I took the track off, sanded it down, and relayed it. There's a couple shims in certain spots to make the grade a little smaller, but there's one spot here by a Shulman, and then if we swing around, the other spot, which is gonna be train on it. But right here, there was some issues. I was also able to sand that one down. So those are the 2 main parts of the main line that I wanted to work on, just fixing small bugs and issues. But the big update now to end the video is the South Akron Yard. Part of it is glued in, everything that way, and then everything here is just roughed in here. I'm still trying to play around with some of the track work. As you come here, this was another spot that I just made sure to relay a little bit of the track to make sure the grade was a little bit less. So obviously you have the tortoise switch machine turnout here, and then it takes you down as the grade descends the cork roadbed onto the plywood. And then this here is South Akron Yard. So I'm still playing with this alignment over here to make sure that it works. But the way I'm seeing this is that you pull your train in, and then you have a nice lead out, a little longer than actually the real South Akron Yard. And then from there, you're able to reverse and switch the two industries. The river paper is one of them, and then Cotter merchandise storage is the other one. So it just transfers a bulk material. This track in here is going to be actually inside of a building once I get it there, and then this is going to be the outdoor storage track. I did decide to forego the Firestone tank car spot, as it just was a little bit too tight, and I want to make it nice and easy for any operator to be able to reach their hands in there. So if we go back over, this is going to be Emerald Performance Materials or Chemicals. I can't remember which one it is, but on the real prototype, they do have at least 2 tracks. So I'm still trying to determine exactly what type of chemicals they'll take in and also take out. But for here, I have 2 different tracks that's going to be able to a bunch of different types of tank cars. This is going to be a really fun industry to switch. It's going to be complicated as you have the one stub end lead out, and then you have pretty much 2 tracks that will go the length, and then this is just enough space for a 4-axle locomotive. So no 6-axle locomotives are going to be allowed here in South Akron Yard, which is prototypical for the jobs that ABC Railway they do. So most of it's going to be done with the SW1500s. Eventually we'll get maybe some GP35s from the Wheeling and Lake Erie. I have those in the display case that might be hooked up there. But yeah, this is going to end the layout update for, this is going to be April by the time it comes out. Really happy with the amount of progress I've made over the course of the year. As I said, summer is coming, the weather's changing, so I'll be spending more time outside. But it's been really fun to get to the point where all the track is going to be laid once I glue down this last little bit here. And it's really fun just watching long trains run on the layout. Since my last layout, if you guys remember, it was only 10 by 10 and no staging. I couldn't have trains on it, versus now there's trains behind the backdrop that you can't even see that will allow me to just do continuous running. So with that, thanks for watching.